Welcome back to News USA. It is November 14th, 2020. It is Saturday and it is noontime on the Eastern Coast in the United States of America. And right now we are having a Million MAGA march where protesters are gathering to protest the election results. And the majority of them are headed to our nation's capital up in D.C. This is going on right now, and just wanted to touch on some information and some facts concerning this election, Trump's refusal to concede, and also just an opinion on my feelings on it. Here's the truth, folks, MAGA folks. President Trump does not care about you. I know that every Trump supporter just clicked away and hit the dislike button or whatnot, but that's just the truth. He doesn't care about you. And I'm not saying this to rain on you guys' parade or to rub it in that you guys lost or anything like that. That's not what I do here. I'm doing this to try to help my fellow Americans see what is actually going on so that we're not in the streets committing acts of violence, shooting each other, stabbing each other over something that is unnecessary, because your fearless leader won't just tell you guys the truth and tell you what's going on behind the scenes. And you're getting the information from news outlets and you're thinking that they're lying to you. So this needs to be talked about. It needs to be said. And hopefully you got the stomach to stick around and hear me out and hear what I have to say. Let's take a look at the election results. Let's start there. We're over here at the Associated Press election results map. Now let's take a look at it. Let's start off with Nevada. Nevada, the projected winner, Mr. Biden, is up 33,000 votes in Nevada. OK, not really much can flip there. Let's take a look at Arizona. Arizona, he's up 10,000 votes. It's pretty close there. That's not a huge lead. So that's probably the closest one. Actually, I think that is the closest one when it comes to these last few swing states. Let's take a look at Georgia. Georgia, he is up just over 14,000 votes. Biden, that is. So 14,000 votes here in Georgia. North Carolina has been called, and there is no real arguments for voter fraud in North Carolina. I wonder why. Let's take a look at Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania, Mr. Biden is up over 63,000 votes. 63,000 votes that he's up. And in the popular vote, let's take a look over here. He's up 5.4 million votes. 5.4 million votes in the popular vote. Folks, this is pretty much it. This is the truth that, this is the reality that we're going to have to learn to live with here in America, that the incumbent, Mr. Trump, has lost this election. The American people have voted for Biden. Now, in the wake of all of this information being released, we've got another tweet that has been released by Mr. Trump, saying that the election machine software has flipped votes in millions of votes in favor of Biden, which is not true. Now, if you follow this channel or if you've seen a previous video on this channel, we went straight to the source. So let's go back there straight to the source. This is CISA.gov, CISA.gov, Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency. Now let's take a look at what they have to say. The November 3rd election was the most secure in American history. Right now, across the country, election officials are reviewing and double-checking the entire election process prior to finalizing the result. Okay, let's see. When states have close elections, many will recount ballots. All of the states with close results in the 2020 presidential race have paper records of each vote, allowing the ability to go back and count each ballot if necessary. This is an added benefit for security and resilience. This process allows for the identification and correction of any mistakes or errors. There is no evidence that any voting system deleted or lost votes, changed votes, or was in any way compromised. Guys, there is no evidence that any voting system deleted or lost votes, changed votes, or was in any way compromised. It's right here, folks. It is right here on the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency's websites. Now, last week or a few days ago, You guys were using this same entity as the argument for watermarks. Remember the whole watermark situation? Now that one was under the bridge, we've started something new. Guys, this is coming from the president's own government, the president's own government committees. They are there for the executive office of the president of the United States. As a matter of fact, let's take a look over here. I've got a few tabs pulled up. This is on Axios. The gentleman who put out this information, let's see. Let's scroll down here. CISA Director Christopher Krebs has told associates he expects to be fired after he angered the White House by debunking election misinformation promoted by Trump online. So the guy knows that from telling the truth that he's probably going to get fired because Mr. President Donald Trump doesn't want his supporters to know the truth. Why? I don't know. Maybe it's embarrassment. Maybe he feels that he should remain president regardless, no matter what. Regardless of what the case is, what's going on is not right. It's not correct. And he's not telling you what's going on behind the scenes. Let's take a look at something else. The Trump campaign admits Arizona lawsuit wouldn't change presidential results. Now, why isn't he tweeting this and telling you guys this? He does not care. He's in it for himself. And it's wrong of him to have this thing keep going on and going on and going on. We've got people traveling from around the country, wasting their time, wasting their dollars, wasting hours on the road, driving or flying from wherever they're coming from to go and protest an election when he can just come out and say, hey, guys, it looks like, things might be legitimate. Maybe he doesn't come out. If he wants to, that's his prerogative. He doesn't have to come out and say, hey, I concede. If he doesn't want to say that, fine. There's no law that says that a president has to say that. But to keep people running on this rat race, I feel it's inappropriate. And a lot of people feel that it's inappropriate. Now, unless something crazy happens and there are faithless voters in the Electoral College and they flip this election, which if that happens, then may the universe help us, because who knows what would happen after that. All hell might break loose. Hate to see that happen, but unless that happened, there really is no other way. There is no other route to a win for Mr. Trump. Let's take a look at what this says. The Trump campaign said Friday that its lawsuit challenging the vote counting process in Arizona will not affect the presidential race, submitting a court filing notifying the court that the case is now partially moot, ending President Trump's main legal challenge to the election result in Arizona after the battleground state went narrowly to President-elect Joe Biden. They're admitting it, folks. They're saying it. But they're keeping you riled up, and we have people who are just capitalizing off of this and just boosting this thing up and acting like it's a real thing and really driving people up the wall and causing people to be further divided in the United States, and it's not necessary. Let's take a look at this here. Though the Trump campaign has centered its grievances with the presidential election around false claims of voter fraud for which there is no evidence to support, the campaign's legal team explicitly said in court Thursday that the Arizona lawsuit was not a fraud case and not a steal the election case. The Trump campaign still has a number of other ongoing lawsuits in Pennsylvania and Michigan whose claims have largely been dismissed by legal experts. Guys, please do not go out here and start hurting your fellow Americans and causing all kinds of mayhem and fighting and infighting over this. No. Is it officially finalized? No, we won't know that until I believe it's December 14th or 15th when the Electoral College votes. But the writing is on the wall. Accept the election results, accept what has happened, and let's not take this to the streets and begin hurting each other because the truth is not being told to you by the gentleman in the White House who you guys seem to love quite a bit. Let's think about this. Let's keep it together. Let's hold it together. And hopefully this message gets to as many people as possible. And it gets spread, and there's not a lot of bloodshed or anything. Hopefully there's none. If you want President Trump to get back into office, he can do it again in 2024 if he's capable of running. If he still has the energy to run, you could do it again in 2024, and you can get another Trump presidency. He would need to win that vote. It would be a hard race, but it's possible. Now, that's all I wanted to say. I just wanted to put this message out there, and hopefully it reaches enough people and we can kind of put some of these things to bed, or more of these things to bed, and we don't just descend into complete mayhem here. That's all. Stay tuned to News USA.